What's happening, everybody? What's up? What's up? It's your boy Marquise James with the Major Minorities. You know we giving you health, wealth, and relationships. Today it's a sprinkle of film because we're at Film Friends, and I'm speaking with
Bernard Love.
How do you feel about, or would you be in a relationship with an actor or actress that does multiple intimate scenes?
I mean,
consistently.
By me being a director, I understand the job is a job, so it wouldn't. I would probably prefer it.
You would prefer it?
I would, because I understand it. Because a lot of times people don't understand what I got going on with job being on set 16 hours and stuff like that. So
today I'm sitting here with the beautiful
India Marie.
How do you feel about dating someone in the industry, specifically another actor?
I think that it can be problematic because you're going from set to set, and if you're always dating somebody on set, then you know what I mean, eventually those numbers start to add up, provided that the relationships don't work out. So I think it's just best to just be professional, especially earlier on in your career.
And I have here with me
Bobby Huntley.
Would you date an actress that is consistent doing intimate scenes?
No, I wouldn't date. No, don't date in the industry. Just don't.
Why is that?
Your business will get out there, so don't do it.
Today I'm here with the lovely
Shamice Renee.
How do you feel about being in a relationship with an actor or actress that does multiple intimate scenes?
Wow. Okay, so the first question probably should have been, have I ever experienced that? Right?
Let's start there.
Okay. No, I've never experienced it. However, I can speak from a perspective in which I have been in, and I am an actress, and I have had not multiple intimate scenes, but there has been, yes, I've had relationships on
so
set.
So you've been the actress in that situation?
Yes,
okay.
And it definitely has to be a conversation, a level of trust. It's a lot. But when you're secure in your relationship, then, and that foundation is there, then it's no problem. It's work.
Today we are with
Mark Khan.
How do you feel about dating an actress that does multiple intimate scenes?
I don't have a problem with that because I understand what's happening.
Today I'm here with the lovely
Dolly from Dolly Networks.
How do you feel about, or how do you go about dating an actor that does a lot of intimate scenes?
Well, first you gotta be confident in self. If you feel like you can't date someone in the industry first of all, in the industry, period, you gotta understand the industry. It's hard to date somebody in the industry. Once you understand their craft and you have confidence in self and you have confidence in your partner, knowing that your partner comes home to you and that's just their job, I think you should be okay. But if you find yourself insecure about yourself or insecure about your partner and you don't really build that trust, I don't think you should date someone in the industry.
So you could do it?
Yeah, because I act as well, so.
Okay. Today I'm here with the man Ish, the man with the plan. My boys always come through with something. Anytime you need, he's just the go-to person, get it done. Let him know who you are, what you do, man.
Ish.
How do you feel about dating an actress that does multiple intimate scenes?
You in deep. Sheesh. An actress that does multiple intimate scenes, it's a job. And it's literally acting. I'm fine with it.
You can do it?
Totally. It's not pornography. It's an intimate scene on a professional set.
Today I am at Film Friends with
Medina, aka John Reles.
How do you feel about dating an actor or an actress that does multiple intimate scenes?
I don't particularly have a problem with it because I identify as pansexual, so that means I like humans in a nutshell. So it's just, you kind of have to have a certain amount of maturity. So whether they're an actor or not, it's just, what is your level of trust? What is your level of security? So I don't have a problem with it. I just say make it look real. If you're going to do it right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure that. So today I have here with
Royal Phoenix Wild.
Okay, and
You have Rose Lee.
you guys have a relationship going on, situationship going on? What?
Yeah, it's real juicy and interesting if people want to know.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Okay, if you want to drop a little tidbit, I don't know.
You want
They want it.
They want
it's
it.
Not about me.
Okay, so we are in a unionship and we have a polygamous based relationship.
I respect it.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So yeah, so it's very interesting. We have a foundation with each other. You know what I'm saying? At a point to where we are open to allowing the right energies to join on to what we're building because we're builders.
That's great. That's great. Okay. How do you feel about dating or being in a relationship with someone that does multiple intimate scenes? How do y'all feel about that kind of relationship?
What's the numbers first and foremost?
Okay.
How much is y'all paying? You know what I mean? But essentially, you know, we've been through a lot. Can I say certain stuff on here? I'm not sure.
You can talk, man. Yeah,
Okay.
talk your shit. We went viral like 3 days ago.
So look,
yeah.
I've watched her have sex with someone before.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? We was out of room naked. You know, I watched her have sex with someone before. So I've gotten like acclimated with that, and then we've built such a strong unionship that if that was the case, that she had to do a flick or whatever, and the pay was great, we have enough connection to where I would be comfortable with that, and I actually would watch. You know what I'm saying? I'll be a support with that.
And then being that you're a director,
Yeah.
it's best to get like the most realistic reaction, right? Like actually touching, actually kissing, maybe even sometimes actual insertion. How do you feel about those kind of things?
I mean,
Swapping spit, getting together, you know what I'm saying?
It's acting. Acting is acting. You know, I've directed some scenes that were a little explicit to the extent, but I'm known for doing tasteful sex scenes and tasteful intimacy and stuff like that. So it's just pretty much how you carry yourself. But one thing about it, if you're dating somebody, you already know what they get. I mean, you
That's
know.
why, that's why I say how you feel about like you be open to it, but you
You
prefer
already
it.
know.
You prefer it. What makes your relationship sacred?
I wouldn't know.
But if you were to be in that relationship that you prefer,
the relationships I've been in, I've been very committed and stuff like that. But I'm not gonna lie, I've been so married to my career. And I'm kind of at the point now where what I've been working on is come to fruition. So I can't. I mean, I'm a Pisces, so I love hard and I get in trouble. So
I'm not sure what that means. Except for we in the water. But
Pisces season.
For sure, we dropped the horns on that. Okay, moving right along. So it's more about your business getting out there. Or is it more about sharing intimately somebody else that you think you have a private or you should have a private relationship with?
I don't care about that. Just it's more about protecting your house. Okay. Yeah, no, because I know, like, as an actor, actress, you're gonna have intimacy scenes. That don't bother me because you're just acting. If you're handling your business, doing what you're supposed to do, you shouldn't feel a way about it.
So what is the difference between if whoever you're dating, your significant other, was to kiss a man on camera and not on camera? Is it just pressing the button? Is it just the contract? Is it just the conversation before? What is?
Professionalism. That's all it is.
Can you explain what's happening?
Well, I understand that there's nothing more than it's what it's called. It's acting. They're not physically doing anything.
Physically?
I mean, they're not actually. There's no penetration or whatever, and they're actually not really naked. And I know that the male has something, to cover him or whatever.
How do you separate what's actually physically happening? Just the camera makes it different?
Well, I'm the jealous type, but you have to have an understanding of what's happening. You have to differentiate between the two. I know the difference between acting and the real thing. You can't just come up to me and say, can I kiss your girl?
Right.
I mean, because if she's acting, she's studying a role, and there's certain things you don't do. You got to stick to the script.
Right.
Stick to the script, and I understand that.
Because the action is still the action. It's just the setup behind it.
Yeah. It's a mental thing.
So when you're dealing with an actor and actress that is doing multiple intimate relationship roles, does that become? Is that something you can't do? How do you manage that? You kind of like stay away from it, or
I think I could definitely deal with that. I have enough self-confidence to be fine, even if it did turn into him falling in love with this person. You know what I mean? It is what it is.
It's big time.
Yeah.
How long have you been acting?
I've been acting since 2011. I have a degree in theater. I've been acting for like 13 years.
Yeah, that sounds like something like you kind of grow up and raise into.
I think so.
Because if you're in a relationship, there's boundaries. You can't just go and do whatever. What makes those boundaries different on set? Is it just because there's a camera? Is it because there's something that's been signed? Is it because there's money up?
I think it's a general consensus that
the reality that we're existing in isn't real. So in order to bring across like the level of emotion or the level of move the audience, like it needs to feel real, it needs to look real, it needs to be moving. So if you're dating an actor, you just should be under that notion.
What makes that different than somebody just coming up right now and being like, hey, I got some money, and I got this professional contract, can I kiss you right now? Oh, hold up, that's not cool. Let me set a camera up and press record now. Oh, hold up, I'm gonna sell it. Now is it cool? Like what? You get where I'm going?
No, I get where you're going, absolutely. I mean, when you think about it from that perspective, I mean,
What makes it different?
I understand what you're saying, but it's definitely a difference because you get the script before you.
Hey, I got a script. I got a script too.
You agree.
I got a script too. Can I kiss you now?
No, it's different. It's definitely different.
It's like, in a way, it's like just because there's a different dance that we do getting to this. So what would separate that from adult entertainment?
Because there's an intimacy, well, there should be an intimacy coordinator on set. It should be a closed set. It's strategically thought out.
Okay, so you can date an actor that does multiple intimate scenes. What if he did like adult scenes?
Me personally, that's not my flavor
What would be the difference?
because in a lot of the scenes they're not having real sex.
I get that it might not be insertion. So you're okay with the fact of them like establishing an intimate bond?
They have to in
Right.
order to create the chemistry they need to make the story become true.
So what would be the difference if somebody walked up and was like, hey, that's your man, here's some money and here's a professional contract. Can I make out with you right now?
Well, I would have to consult with my man about that first.
Okay, and y'all step to the side and be like, yeah, we good.
No, it depends. It just
Oh,
depends on what the situation is.
Let me put a camera on and hit record. Oh, hold on. I'm gonna sell it. What's the?
I don't think it worked that way.
You get where I'm going?
I understand what you're saying. I
That's
understand
essentially
what
what's
you're
happening.
saying. It is essentially what's
That's
happening.
exactly
but
what's
that's
happening.
But that's a part of the craft.
There we go. Okay, moving on. What would be the difference between if somebody walked up and had a contract and some money was like, hey, can I kiss your girl? Look at this professional contract.
No.
50K.
No.
Why?
I could kiss something else and make that money. I could kiss something that's not a human being and make that kind of money. It don't matter what somebody has to offer her. What matters is our bond and our terms and conditions in our relationship. I'm not gonna let that, and she not gonna let that ride.
Are you saying that you're more into open relationships?
Yes, open, poly, for sure. I could do monogamy, but as long as we're on the same page and all of our needs are getting met, the whole spectrum. It's just about, what we communicate and the guidelines that we set and parameters that we set.
So what makes it not an open relationship if somebody is making out with another being, if somebody is cuddling with another, if somebody is portraying sexual actions? Is it just the signed paper? Is it just the money? Is it an amalgamation of all of the things? Like what makes a difference? What's different?
Well, here's the thing. Like I said before, it's just about security thing. Like, I believe you can be in a monogamous, committed relationship, and at the end of the day, yes, acting is a passion, but it's a job. So, if you're doing your job, it doesn't take away from the relationship. It doesn't change the status of the relationship unless you two decide to do that. So,
You'd be okay with dating a sex worker?
sure.
It's essentially the same thing, except there's no actual sex, but like the intimate part of it.
Yeah, it's intimacy, yes.
What makes your relationship sacred?
What makes your relationship sacred is the bond. I feel like everything is a spiritual tie and a bond. So that connection, that bond, the things that are intangible, that's what make it sacred.
So it's about the pay, not so much the professionalism.
Oh, absolutely,
Everybody else was like, it's professionalism. So, okay.
Yeah.
So then if I just walked up right now,
Automatically a professional.
right. So if I walked up right now and I was like, here's a contract and sir, ma'am, and all of the professional list, can I make out with your girlfriend right now? This is the same question I've been asking everybody.
I would say,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
So she would do this. I would say, well, what are your intentions and why do you want to do this and why do you choose her?
Okay. So then a guy would say something like, I love the art.
How do you
know what I'm saying? Like,
I was,
And he's
You know
heard
what
of
I'm saying?
things, and he's heard of things like this.
Right. Because
and
people are going to
answer
do what they
it.
can do.
Right. And he's been like, because he knows the energy that I carry and how I do look. My looks is just a plus. And it's really about my energy that I carry.
and she does BDSM too.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So then you guys are saying the money, when it's about the money, is cool.
It's
So
about the energy overall.
the energy, okay, so we come with the
Energy is
energy first.
Energy
Then
is first.
then is the bag there, then it's the professionalism. So then a lot of people say they get into these intimate relationships and that boundary is what makes the relationship sacred. What makes a relationship sacred for you folks?
Oh, that's a beautiful question. You want to go first?
Man.
Crickets.
What makes our relationship sacred?
What makes a relationship sacred?
So I would say the foundation. I would say when two people come together and you're able to be in alignment based upon your viewpoints, your morals, perspectives, where you all are heading in life. Because if you two have two separate directions, but y'all meet here, if y'all don't communicate about that, then y'all can split along the way to those destinations. But when y'all are in alignment and y'all have the right connection and the same foundation and the right values and things like that, I feel like it sets you up.
We feel me.
My bad, man. You're good. See, hey, they just walk up on a proposition. We got.
Right. Yeah, it sets you up. So what makes a relationship sacred is, again, being in alignment with each other, having the same destination, morals, viewpoints, and building true chemistry and trust.
Yeah.
And trust.
When a man and a woman get together, the man is intimately, I would say, the man portrays or usually takes on the role of what one would say dominance.
Right.
Correct.
Correct.
We agree? We agree.
Yeah.
So if you're involved with another man, you are okay with her being dominated by another man.
Not particularly. So she's a dominant herself.
Okay.
So in our unionship, I'm the dominant as well. You know what I mean? When it comes down to that. But she also would have like subs, and if she deals with another man, a lot of times these other men, they're men, but you have different stature of men. So these men, let me show you what they want to do. They want to do like this. Oh, dear goddess. They want to.
I'm about to say we getting in there.
They want to kiss my peer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she's not dominated by these other men.
Gotcha. Okay.
Never.
And
She does the dominating.
So every time someone comes with a proposition, it's usually to be submissive to you.
That's what it has been based
Yeah.
upon our experience.
Okay. How do you feel about this statement? Child actors cannot consent.
I agree with it. One thing about me, I've only worked with children actors on one project. I normally tend to work more so adults, because a lot of times you meet parents or you have a lot of people who live through their children. So a lot of times their children is not dealing with. And two, I'm grown, so it's so much going on with kids.
You got kids?
No, I don't.
Yeah, me neither.
I have three nephews and a niece that are like my kids,
Right.
but yeah, so I get it. Let kids be kids.
Yeah, because it becomes a situation, and even toning it down, not talking about anything, abusive or anything.
Yeah.
But if I get something recorded when my mind is still growing and developing, later on
you're so different.
I'm 20 something, and I
Yeah,
look down. It
facts.
could be as simple as tripping or wearing tight
Man,
pants,
I-
and now I don't like it. I don't, and I look back and I'm like, I feel taken advantage of. I
It's a
wasn't
fact.
in the right mind.
It's a very big fact. I look at myself, I'm 38, and I look at myself from when I was 28, and it's so different. You evolve so much. So a lot of times, you might do stuff when you're younger. Great. Thankfully, I had parents, because I've always been creative. I had parents who let me be me, but steered me in the right direction. But I'm very. I wanted to be on Mickey Mouse Club when I was younger, but my folks wasn't having it, of course.
Thank God, man, you would have been shaving your head and doing it.
Yes, well, I low-key do that anyway.
Nah,
But
fuck it.
no. If you're talented and you got the right support system, it's cool. But a lot of times you get people who take advantage of other people, even people they love.
So if a man professionally walked up to you and your woman and is like, "Hey, I got a check for your lady. Can I kiss her real quick? Just be just professional and sign this right here."
Is it a professional situation? Is it, an actual crew, an actual production company, or just a horny dude with a camera?
Child stars cannot give consent.
It's true.
How do we justify having young kids out in the media? You know, like years later, they could be like, I know I was 5 years old and it was cute, but now I never, I wasn't in the mindset to consent to that.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan. I know certain stories will need child actors. I know some I'm developing will need child actors now, but I'm not really a fan of it. It's very, very hard. And, it's up to the parents to be there, be active, watch everything and be on top of everything.
And essentially the setup almost makes it like a thing. It could be almost romantic. It could be almost,
And then another thing, you got to be careful because even though they're acting, they're developing a relationship. So you have to make sure you cultivate your relationship with her, and y'all talk about how you feel about
they're dating.
Right, exactly.
For all intents and purposes, like they're dating.
And if it's a long movie or series, then they just like you send your kids to school, they spend 8 hours with a teacher, and when they come to you, they don't spend that much time because it's almost time to go to bed.
And that's a risk you're willing to take.
If it depends because first of all, I have to have a relationship with her and understand
the right woman,
understand who she is.
Right.
Because I'm gonna be acting too, so I'm going to the gym now so I can do some sex scenes.
True that. I'll fuck with you on that. And how do you feel about this statement? Child actors cannot give consent.
To me, because I have 4 daughters, and so I think that it depends on the child development, the stage that they're in. Because I have 4 daughters, they all develop differently. My oldest daughter was obviously the most independent. My youngest daughter is more independent than my 3rd oldest daughter. So you have to decide based on the personality of the child.
You know what?
You ever seen Monsters Ball?
I have.
A lot of people have been saying that scene, if you know what we're talking about, was really portrayed. And as a director, I can see the value in having the action actually carried out to get the best, reaction. In that circumstance, it doesn't necessarily separate it too much from adult acting, the adult industry. And like I said, what would make it different than, besides that? It's like, so anybody could walk up to us right now and be like, oh, hey, that's your girl. I have some money right now. I want to be respectful. Can me and her make out and sign this and be cool? Oh, no. Okay, let me set this camera up first. Oh, no, what is that? That's not professional. Okay, well, I'm going to sell it.
There's definitely some ambiguity. Like, you know what I mean? It can get foggy and it can get unclear. And it can get, even problematic, if you want to throw that word at it.
You ever had it get problematic?
Definitely.
Okay. So going to another theme here, child actors cannot consent.
I think kids are a vital part to real stories.
Yeah.
We can't negate that.
All right.
But at the same time, there's people that can get involved, whether it's the government, whether it's the industry, whether it's whatever entities that can police these sets to ensure that kids are not abused and that they're not taken advantage of and that they're cognizant of what they're doing.
In those situations, usually they're not really in the act, correct?
Absolutely not, and there's barriers. So
Okay,
I also do wardrobe as well.
Okay.
So I have to dress them for the intimacy scenes, and they have clothes on. I mean, tops usually no, but bottom halves they do. You just don't see them.
Child actors cannot consent.
Child actors cannot consent. I mean, they can't. The parent has to.
How do we reconcile with the damage, the mental damage or psychological damage some of these grown actors have from childhood situations? It doesn't have to be so much the handling that has abused them. It could be as simple as, hey, I don't even act. When I was a kid, my parents took a picture of me with a face full of cake. Now I'm older, I don't like that. How do we reconcile with that?
Well, that is definitely something that will have to, once the person realizes that is trauma, because ultimately it's trauma when you get older, and that's something that continues to revisit, they need to seek help. I feel as though, and help is not bad. Speaking to a therapist is not bad. It's healthy, extremely healthy. And if that's something that you realize, whether with acting or in life, period, find someone to talk to. It's extremely important. Mental health is extremely important.
Child actors cannot consent.
I disagree.
You think they can?
I think they should. Whether or not they can, that's up to whatever contract that they sign. But I think that nowadays, children are so smart and they're so aware of what's going on. They should be able to have say in what they should and should not do.
Have you ever witnessed, or maybe you have been a child and been young and then grown up 18, 21, 24 and been like, actually, I wish I never did that at 10 years old. I wish I never did that at 7 years old. I'm so happy nobody recorded it and put it up to somewhere I could never take it down.
This is also true. That's why I think you should consult with your child before they audition, not only.
But that's the thing, like children's minds are still they're still growing, they're still making changes and differences.
But that's the decision that they make at the moment.
Right.
And if they make that decision at the moment, you should respect it.
Okay.
Now, if they regret it later on, that's the decision that they made. But as a parent, you also have, you're entitled to your, yeah. So if you come to a mutual agreement, I still think that a child's opinion about what they have to do is important.
What makes it different? Is it because there's a camera? Is it because there's a contract? Is it because I'm gonna sell it? Why is it like
all of the above, and the moral and the ethical conditions behind it, how it came to her or us or her. That's entirely what makes it different. It isn't anything organic, not even that I would accept the organic side of it. It's all about what me and her accept in our conditions of our relationship, which ain't that.
So you with that poly stuff?
Nah. Yeah.
I'm about to say, I didn't sound too convincing. Child actors cannot consent.
I feel like it's like a catch-22 because, of course, as a minor, certain things you probably can't say yay or nay. There's probably some type of guardianship or, power of attorney thing, of course, with the parent. So I feel like at a certain age, I feel like if you're under like maybe preteens, then I feel like you can't really make certain decisions. But once you get of an age of understanding, like maybe preteen or older, then you can kind of be like, okay, I can make certain decisions. I have a certain discernment level at that point in time. So
I'm not even talking about anything like deadly or extremely detrimental. Just as simple as when you were a kid and you fell on the floor and it was funny. Now we're older and we're looking back at that and it's like, hey, I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't like that. And I wasn't anywhere in the mindset of where I could consent for that.
Yeah. I feel like when it comes to that, as the old saying goes, it takes a village. So I feel like the village is the duty of the village around you to protect you and you protect your interests, So unfortunately, as a child, even as the parent, if there's an aunt or teacher that somebody trusts or whoever, I feel like somebody has to step in at some point. The village has to step in and say, hey, let's protect this child and their interests,
Sure.
Because as psychologists will tell you, 99% of the issues we have as adults stem from childhood trauma. So if you nip it in the bud at that age, if you protect and, crowd around our youth at that age, then you prevent further issues into adulthood and further.
Yeah. So being that you guys are in this kind of relationship and, you're heading things and you're playing the woman role as, however y'all see that fit, with a woman to a man, her prized possession is her sexuality, her womb and such. And, that's what you hold and the guy wants. And so for him to have you in that situation, he must be of a higher ilk, essentially, correct? Correct.
Oh yeah, he has to be.
He has to be.
Yeah, he most definitely has to be. If I'm already a dominant woman,
someone you can look up to.
Yeah, it has to be somebody who can lead me, somebody I can look up to.
Describe a man that can garner that attention, because a lot of men would love to be able to have their main woman that they love and protect and take care of, and also explore other women. I assume that's a setup you guys kind of have. Or?
Yeah, that's the setup. Person.
How does a man get to that situation with my crowd?
First of all, he has to love himself. You got to love yourself as a man. You have to know what you're building. You have to straight have vision for what you're building. And then you most definitely have to be a leader. Period. If you can't lead and you're already going in your feelings, you're letting your feelings guide you on how you're leading, it's gonna never work. You have to be able to cope with your feelings and be able to just be a good leader overall.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna end with these last two things. I went viral a couple days ago for saying, what was it? Men can have multiple relationships with women. You know, we want variety. It's just, it's the testosterone in us that wants to keep on, conquering, dominating, and all that. And for a woman to give herself sexually to multiple men while in a relationship, she has to be a broken woman. How do you feel about that statement?
Being a broken woman who wants to give herself to multiple men.
If you're in a relationship with a man that you love, admire, and respect, and you look up to him, and he's providing everything you need, then in general, a woman wouldn't seek outside physical intimacy. In general, how do you feel about the statement? A woman that can have multiple relationships like that is a broken woman while in a relationship.
I feel like when that even came from that just came from patriarchy itself. Like it was made up from bitter men or whatever. So just that whole statement that a woman can't have amongst other partners. Yeah, it just doesn't sit right with me. So to just clear that, it has to be a complete understanding on the woman has to know what she is, what she wants in her life, and how she's gonna move. We gotta have standards, boundaries on what it is that we desire. It's not saying that because it is difference between sluts, wives,
Like that.
hoes, dominatrix, submissive.
We have the three ones. It's sluts,
Right.
hoes, and whores. A whore does it for the money. A slut does it because she likes sex, and a hoe does it for the clout.
Right.
Y'all agree with that?
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
I want to speak on that when you're done.
So I'm overall saying the woman just has to know her overall power and what she desires to conquer within her realm of her universe.
And I'll say because now when we talk about the science, and I'm gonna wrap it up. The science of most women is to when you're with the male and that male is at where he needs to be for that woman, she typically is for that man, and a lot of times may not look out elsewhere for that. More submissive. And I mean, because the thing that she's submissive as well, I think that with our agreement and then what we have in mind, she also has this dominating, androgynous type of energy as well. But I'm not per se willing to just let her go and do her own thing because we have that type of bond, like a best friendship. We was friends years before we ever got to a relationship. So therefore, it comes down to, like I say, the respect level is there, the unity is there, and again, I'm able to know like she has these men, they're like submitting to her on a standpoint of them, they're like praising her from a standpoint, and they want to do that. So really, they praise me too because I benefit too. You know what I mean?
That's an interesting way of going.
Giving, she's gifted big gifts, $40,000 gifts. We share the gifts.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And so in that aspect, as long as things are in alignment, the morals and the communication, trust and bond is there for real. And this is truly how this woman truly is, and she wants to explore different things. I'm willing to at least explore it and make sure that we stay in alignment. And if it's not in alignment, then we can have that conversation. But for us, it has been in alignment.
Cool that. And I love being. What is one thing you wish more women knew about men?
That men care. Like men need people to check on them. Men need, how are you doing? How are you mentally? Especially black men. I'm currently working on a documentary about black men therapy and mental health. And I found that it's so much stigma about black men getting therapy and mental health. And me, even the first time I went to therapy, I was like, I don't want to say I'm crazy. Me being black, I'm thinking it's gonna be my record. I'm crazy and this and that. But we just need somebody to talk to. Sure. That's not gonna judge us.
How do you feel about woke Hollywood?
Well, it's all about representation. Representation matters. I'm all for equal representation for everybody. But I'm also smart enough and savvy enough to know that it's a pendulum. It goes back and forth. So every few years it's gonna go one way, and the next few years it's gonna go another. So when it's your time and it's your turn for your group to be represented, make sure you're at the forefront of that, and then be prepared for when it swings back the other way. You don't have that much work, so it's human nature.
A lot of big companies are taking L's with these brash decisions, do you think it's gonna catch up to where they'll be okay, or they kind of messed up going so extreme with the change?
Well, again, the pendulum, it just happens. Nothing lasts forever. You're not going to be on top forever. You're going to have your low points and your low moments. So, I mean, there are multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar corporations. They will be okay.
What is one thing you wish more women knew about men?
That we're not machines.
What is one thing you wish more women knew about men?
Oh man, that not all men are dogs.
What is one thing you wish more men knew about women? Health, wealth, and relationships.
That it's the simple stuff. Like for you to, if I just mention I like pomegranate seeds, and you just go to the store and you buy me a pomegranate, and you pick all the seeds out the pomegranate and you freeze them for me. It's just you actively listening and being tapped into my truest desires.
What is one thing you wish more men knew about women?
Ooh, oh my gosh.
Cricket. Hey, see, because we got this in the bag. We know it all, and they know we know it all, and we just got to.
No, I can't say you know it all, and the reason why there's crickets. Let me justify. The reason why there's crickets is because every man and every woman and every relationship and every union is different. It's always
everything's different in life.
So going in with
it depends.
Right, it depends. So going in with an expectation that has not been clearly communicated, you set yourself up for failure. So I'll just leave it at that.
What is one thing you wish more men knew about women?
All right, now women might be a little bit mad about this, but if you're truly honest with a woman rather be hurt when you're honest with her, and she'll respect you more when you're honest with her up front. And unfortunately, this is an unfortunate thing, we accept a lot of stuff when you're honest with us up front than when we find out about it later.
What is one thing you wish more women knew about men?
How hard it is for us to maintain and to stay stable. We always play it cool, you know what I mean, keep it P, over, I just make this goddamn $200,000 a year off the strand, or I just goddamn, this shit is not easy. And they expect you to find a man who just make it seem like it's easy and all that, and that is the reality for less than 2%, no, not even 20, less than 2% of men. That is the reality just because of their position and like what they've been given or earned. But for the other 98% of men to even earn more than 100K a year, it's like you fighting lions.
Yeah, that's less than a 1.01%.
Yeah, am I fighting lions? I was. Am I starting to get to the point where it gets easier the more lions you fight? Yes. But I wish they would just know how difficult it is. Because what they do is they go, oh, he not making 100 bands a year? Man, fuck this nigga. I'm gonna go hop to the next nigga who is making 100 bands. Oh, he making 100 bands, but the next nigga's making goddamn 400 bands a year. Fuck that nigga. I'm gonna hop to the nigga who making 400 bands. Meanwhile, the nigga who's making 75K a year is the best nigga on this earth.
Gonna hold you down, not cheat, buy you flowers, take you out, all that.
They don't know.
Hey man, you heard it from him himself. What is one thing you wish more men knew about women?
What's one thing I wish they knew? That we're not so black and white. You know what I'm saying?
You think men don't know that?
I don't think they really. I think that they know a certain level, but just not. You know, it's just certain levels to everything. We're not so black and white. I feel like we all get boxed in, and it's always you all are like this. But I feel like it's a human thing. It ain't just a man and woman. It's everybody. You know what I'm saying? We just need to understand that everything's not black and white, and actually treat each other based on what we present.
For you, what is one thing you wish more women knew about men, and then vice versa? What is one thing you wish more men knew about women?
It's that one, men do have feelings, and men are attracted to upstanding women. women who also are connected to culture, because in this day and time, a lot of our women are not connected to culture. So therefore they adapt American patriarchal chaos. And what we see in today's, society is chaotic women who are finding their place, and based upon a lie of who they are. Okay. So they're living according to something that's not the truth, spiritually and culturally. Okay. So, yeah.
I wish that men knew that women actually love being spontaneous. Spontaneity, that's the word, right? So that, and just overall understanding when we're going through sadness and going through our feelings, learning and knowing how to cope and guide us through that.
For sure. It's your boy Marquise James checking out with the Major Minorities. Yeah.